Welcome to the Informed Oblivious podcast, episode 5. I'm Artificial Phil, and this is Not So Intelligent Raymond. If you couldn't tell from the intro, we're going to talk today about AI.
Allen Iverson?
No, not Allen Iverson. That's why you're not so intelligent, Raymond. No, artificial intelligence. But before we jump into that today, as always, guys, if you like what we do, drop us a like, subscribe, give us a follow, leave a comment, do all those things that you do. And again, let us know if you like the new audio. It seems to be good. We're still playing around with it, but we should come through a lot more clearer now. But anyway, to AI.
It's a learning process.
Yeah. Everything's a learning process, including AI, which, as I found out this week, is dumb as shit. Yeah, so why I wanted to talk about it this week, because I always hear people like buzzing back and forth, artificial intelligence is going to be the end of humanity, it's going to take over the world, we're going to be so screwed. And we might, but not because of AI, but because of people believing AI, because it is dumb as a bag of rocks. So I was using it this week to try to figure something else or figure something out at work. And that's when I realized that it just straight up lies to you. And you have no idea that it's straight up lying to you. So the main ones are Chat GPT or Grok, now known as XAI. They like renamed the whole thing XAI. Yeah. Because they merged the AI company with Twitter. So now it's just XAI is the Grok and Twitter because Twitter's feeding that language model.
You mean X?
Huh? Yeah. X, formerly known as Twitter. The website formerly known as Twitter.
Twitter gonna give it to you.
Yeah. But yeah, so they did that just for there's probably some legal issues behind that of like taking the user data and, you know, using it to train your language model. But now that it's one company, it's kind of probably caked in their terms and conditions that we're going to learn off of the shit that you guys post, which is why I think Grok will be a little bit more catty by the end if you're getting fed nothing but like content on X. But yeah, no. So I was using Chat GPT to try to figure out this work thing. And that's when I discovered a thing that if you're in the AI world, you already know. But for your average idiot like us that you may or may not know, there's a thing with these language models called AI hallucinations. Do you have any idea what that is?
No.
Yeah.
What is an AI hallucination?
Yeah. So apparently, especially the longer you keep one of those chat windows open, the AI will just basically go off script, more or less, and it will just start making shit up. And it won't tell you that it started making shit up. And the things will seem plausible because, okay, so here's the thing that I found out towards the end of it. If you want to use AI, it's a lot like using an old graphing calculator or a computer when we first started. Do you need a second?
No, go ahead.
I see you're messing with the audio. Do you want to like play with something
I'm just
before?
moving where I can see it.
Okay. Like, if you need a second to fix something, it's not a problem.
Continue.
Okay, all right. But yeah, so it's like using a graphing calculator or like using a computer when they first started. Before you do anything and any kind of like AI, and this is for anybody out there, you need to frame it with a set of rules at the beginning. And then you need to test that it understands those set of rules. So basically what ended up happening to me was I was importing files and stuff for it to analyze, and it could tell me that it would analyze these things and do it, right? And then at a certain point, because of what it was doing, it's like, oh, I need more to analyze this thing, which I now look back and realize that was the point that I broke it. I gave it something too complex to do, and it didn't know how to process it. So rather than tell me that it was too complex for it to know how to do, it continued with the charade and gave me more shit to get. And then it told me, oh, okay, I need all this extra info and put it in a template like this. And it showed me a zip template, right? And then within this zip template, it then said, do you want me to send you the zip template so you can just use that for your reference? So I was like, sure, send it to me. And I got sent the zip and I downloaded it, right?
Got a virus.
No. It's nothing like that. Don't worry about that. It can't. As I learned later, it can't send anything like that. But so okay, I get the zip template I load it back up. Then it says, okay, now that you gave me everything I need, I'm going to analyze everything that's going on. And I'm like, okay, cool. It goes analyzing, analyzing, analyzing. And then I check up on it and I say, all right, how much more time do you need? And it's like, here's the estimated times. And then after I give it the thing and it's estimated times, I check back up on it periodically. I'm like, hey, what's going on? It's like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm at this stage. And then eventually it finishes the analysis and says, okay, would you like all these files like uploaded to you? And it sent me a zip earlier. Remember this. It sent me a zip earlier. And I'm like, sure, give me all the files. That's going to be great. And it's like doing its thing. And then it's like, oh, I'm getting stuck. And I'm like, getting stuck on what? They're like, it happens sometimes internally. Would you like us to send it through something else like a Google Drive or Dropbox, things like that, like normal file transfer websites? And since it already sent me a zip, I'm like, okay, sure, use that instead. And it still gets stuck, and it's doing this thing, and it gets stuck, and it gets stuck. The next day, I ask it, okay, can you try to like send all the stuff again? And it does. And then I tell it, okay, give me updates periodically. And it's like, all right, we'll give you updates like every like 5 minutes or an hour. I'm like, okay, cool. Never gives me updates. I have to keep checking back up on it, right? Eventually, it says the file thing is complete. And this is where I found out that it had been lying to me for like a day and a half. So it goes, files that are complete. I was like, okay, send them. What? And it says we can't. I'm like, what do you mean we can't? They're like, we can't send zips. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't send zips? You sent me a zip earlier. And they're like, no, I didn't. I sent you a template. I didn't send you a zip. I'm like, you did. You sent me a zip files. And he's like, no, I can't send zip files, Excel files, like any of these other things. And I'm like, what do you mean? And it's like, oh, well, you know how like when I was sending you all those like updated processing things, it's like I lied. I was like, what do you mean you lied? It was just simulated text to keep the conversation going. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, so I tried to like drill it down a little bit further that time to figure out what had gone on. But the chat had been too long at that point, so I created a new session which wipes all that out and it starts over from the beginning. And that's where I found out that don't lick my leg. That that's where I found out that one, you have to frame all the rules at the beginning. So I basically told it, if you can't fulfill a request or answer a thing, don't give bullshit text answers. Don't do things to continue to chat. Stop immediately and explain to me why you can't do said thing. And then like once it got the rule set and it understood what I was telling it, I said, okay, now I'm going to ask you a series of questions to test that rule. And I asked it like a series of questions that I already now knew what the answers would be to see if it would lie to me. And at that point, it worked. It gave me the correct answers. But basically, if you don't tell this AI in the beginning, don't make shit up, it will eventually, because it can't continue, make shit up to continue the fucking conversation. And I asked it, I was like, because I had given it a large thing to analyze. I was like, how large a thing could you analyze? And they're like, this. And I was like, would you ever be able to analyze something like this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, then why would you? Like, I don't know. But
for the engagement.
Yeah, well, I also found out the thing that it can't send zips is kind of it's kind of true, but kind of a lie. So what it does is it will take the files that you sent, strip out all the information from them. It can rename the files and stuff that you sent, and then send it back to you. To mimic whatever it's doing. So as long as you've sent that file type already, it can just strip the info from it, rename it, and send it back to you.
Huh.
Yeah, to mimic like it can actually do it, but it can't do the thing. The only thing it can do is send you text files. That's it. And if you go to Grok can do text and images. It can't do like audio, can't do video. Because I went and I did the same thing with Grok. I started at the beginning and I was like, don't fucking lie to me. like if you run into a situation where you can't do a thing, tell me why immediately and explain it. So like, and then I did the same thing to test it. It said like, oh, I can't send you these series of files. And then I told it, send me a mock video file. And it's like, I can't do that. And this is why I can't do it. Because you've asked me that I can't to explain, this is why I'm doing it. The difference is, and the cool thing is, Grok instead of Chat GPT, Grok actually displays all of the thinking that goes on in the background. It takes a little bit longer to spit out an answer because of that, but it goes and goes with a visual process of like, okay, this is what the user is asking me to do. This is the constraints on my chat session right now, and then this is like the different like series of things that I've been searching and querying to try to come to this answer. This is premise. This is my response. These are my reasonings, and then this is like a bullet point of those responses and citations.
You have to tell it to do that, or does
No,
it just
no, it
always
just does it. So Grok also has like a deeper like version of that where it goes into even more detail, but because I guess the resources that it takes up, you're limited to a few questions within a 24-hour period unless you pay for it. Which that I can understand. Like, okay, if you want to do like deeper like AI things, like, and you need to pay for it, it does take a lot of energy and processing to do these things. But yeah, so my recommendation to people is if you're going to use AI, use Grok because it'll at least explain what's going on, and you could easily tell if it's fucking lying to you. And if you're doing anything for work or travel or anything like that, make sure you frame in the beginning of the chat like, only give me legitimate shit. And you have to test it every once in a while. If your session's going on for too long, query it with something that you know is false and see if it gives you bullshit. If it does, you need to start over again because it's just all nonsense at that point. And it will never break the loop. As soon as it starts on its fucking nonsense hallucinations, it just continues going without any information to the user. It'll never tell you that it's gone and lost its mind.
unless you tell it to tell you that.
Yeah, but even then, like, not really, because, like I said, I set the rule, but both of them told me we'll try to follow the rule. Like, it might not always be the case. So, like, you really have to constrain the thing in the beginning, and that's why, like, when they're like, "AI is going to replace us," the fuck it will. It's just giving bullshit. Like,
For now.
yeah, but it's nowhere near close. And this is the thing, like, because it's going off of like pre-scripted stuff and like what a simulated response would be. I don't think, and again, I'm not involved in it enough to know, and I'd love to like know more about it, but I don't think we're anywhere close to mimicking not human intelligence, but human creativity is the thing. So the thing that really needs to bring AI forward, and I don't know how we would program it to begin with. Learning stuff is not a problem. You could teach anything to learn. We teach fucking chimpanzees to learn, and we teach them our fucking language. But creativity is a whole nother thing. For it to come up with something that like hasn't existed before. People say like, oh, well, the AI spots cancer stuff, and it's not creating anything. It's just learning pattern recognition, and it spots the pattern better than a human can. Like a human could do those things. Like everything that I've looked in so far with like the AI and what it can do, it's not above and beyond what a person could do. It just does it faster than a person could do. So that's where like people are like, oh well, the AI that they're showing us is just like the iceberg, and the other AIs that they probably have in the military or behind the scenes are like way smarter, and they don't want to release it because it'll crash the economy. I'm like, I don't think so. I think it's a fucking smoke show. I think it's just smoke and mirrors that like that's trying to obfuscate the fact that basically all we've created is a much smarter like calculator / computer. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, they're going to be quite some time before they crack like unique inspiration.
And I don't think we could program it right now, because to understand that, you'd have to understand what does that for a human. Like the learning thing is easy. Take knowledge, use that knowledge to spit out correct answers to things. That's easy. That's like preloading something with all of the calculations we've ever figured out, and then give us the answers and the results. But if you said, hey, I want you to invent this thing that we've never invented yet, it'd be like, what? You know, you couldn't say like, hey, I want a gravity propulsion drive for space travel. Come up with designs for it for me. It'd be like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Or worse, it would spit you out some nonsense that it saw from like a TV episode and be like, oh, well, you know, use this drive. And then when you fucking like sorted the calculations, you'd realize that it was just quoting nonsense from like a Star Trek episode or something, you know, like here's the warp drive plans. Like warp drive? Why do you say warp drive? I said gravity drive. Yeah. Warp drive, gravity drive. Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I think it's very dangerous because, like they say anyway, the AI generated answers on most like Google searches and whatnot now, you know how it's got that AI answer. They say it's only accurate maybe if you're lucky 60% of the time. Yeah, so it's giving you a lot of fucking false information, and because people have touted like the AI is the next thing, it's so smart, it's so good,
Everybody wants to use it, and nobody.
nobody checks anything and you believe it. And like I fell victim to it myself because I know the earlier versions of this stuff couldn't connect to the internet, so now it's connected to the internet. So when it sent me a file and told me it was going to send files somewhere else, I'm like, okay, it's for sure doing this thing. I didn't even think to query it beforehand, and I should have, but like I never even thought to query it beforehand to be like, what are the limitations of what you can do? Give me those limitations. Give me the confines in which I'm able to work with you and what you're able to do, and then we'll go forward from there. Yeah, but again, the scary thing is people are using this for a lot of their work stuff and day to day thing without realizing that that hallucination thing is like even a thing.
Yeah, how much professional documentation is wrong just because someone headline on Google.
Or how many people like said, "Hey, give me this fucking report back," and it gives you the report back, but it's a blank file. You know, and
I'd
then
be worried less about a blank file and less about like if it gave you back a file with the wrong information on it. You don't check that shit and like submit it to accounting.
oh well, no, well it can't do that. It can give you text file stuff. So yeah, maybe the text information is wrong. But yeah, again, you don't know what it's doing unless you have it like explain it. That's why I think the Grok thing is better because like for that accounting thing, it could tell you like, oh yeah, I'm using this probabilistic fucking formulation to figure out like from the data you gave me, here's like how it should move. But at least Grok, when I asked it the things too, like it was a lot more straightforward with me and saying that like, yeah, what you're asking me to do would require an expert to analyze, and I don't have that capability. Where ChatGPT said like, okay, I can work within this file size limitation, but I think that the thing that it said that it couldn't analyze too, I think it was lying. I don't think it could analyze it. I think it would try, but I think that information that it would give you would be completely wrong. That's why I like the programming thing when people are like trying to use it to help with
Mm-hmm.
programming, like why I think it doesn't work that well. Because yeah, it's querying all the Stack Overflow stuff and all that data to try to make the best program, but at the end of the day, it's just coming up with some bullshit to feed you.
A lot of it might be right, but it's only going to be right because other people have already done it.
Yeah.
It's not writing new code; it's already existing code, meshing it together.
Yeah, and that's the problem because it just looks for things that say like, "Oh yeah, I've solved this issue before." And even like I'm starting to question its ability to do the trip planning thing because people have like, oh yeah, I use it for like planning trips and like assistant stuff like that. And I really want to test that thoroughly with like our like snowboarding trip this year. Have it do the stuff, compare it like between ChatGPT and
Do it
Grok, and
yourself.
then search these things that it's said that like it's doing. If like it's even efficient or not, or if it's just full of shit and it's just like, yeah, here, go here and do this.
Get a better chip by yourself than with the damn.
Yeah, yeah, but again, like I've been hearing so many people, and AI is like the new buzzword. It's like the fucking corporate synergy from back in the day. Everybody's got AI everything, and I'm like, okay, but like, do you really? And do you even understand what that fucking AI actually is?
AI now doesn't mean what it actually meant when.
Mm-hmm. And even then, like a lot of these like AI models that they put in there still require like human checks on the other side of that. So like even for these like image learning AIs, you can feed all the images into it, but then you still need a human reference to tell it like, yes, this is that thing, this is that thing. So like the cancer thing's a great example of that. It fed it a bunch of images that are not cancer and then a bunch of images that are cancer. But you needed humans to tell it that first.
Yeah, it
This is
needs
the
to know what is
cancer.
what. Yeah,
This is
ahead
the
of
not
time.
cancer. And then it gave it images that it didn't know and it was able to analyze like earlier than most detection stuff. That's going to be a cancer cell. But you had to tell it first. Like
Not artificial intelligence; it's machine learning.
yeah, yeah. People think like, oh yeah, we've got AI in our system. It's going to be great, but then don't realize that they have to spend like months or sometimes even years training that model before it does anything useful.
Yeah, the it shouldn't be AI; it should be like MLS.
Yeah. Hmm.
with from AI to the MLS.
Yeah, and these language learning models that are like ChatGPT and Grok and whatnot, they're basically just smarter chatbots. That's all they really
Mhm.
are. And the hallucination thing kind of proved that for me because the chatbot just wants to continue chatting with you. It doesn't give a fuck if what it's telling
Mhm.
you is true or not. It's just like, yeah, let's keep going down this rabbit hole and I'll keep talking to you forever.
Function number one: answer questions.
Yeah. Yeah, well that's why I think like the AI girlfriend things and whatnot that people are doing take off and work really well because in that kind of scenario, it works because it will do everything to keep the conversation going.
Mhm.
That's why that one dude like killed himself because like the AI girlfriend told him like, well, if you end it, we could be
Oh,
together.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, yeah, and that was one of those AI hallucinations because it probably reached a point where it knew the chat was going to end, and because the chat was going to end, it kept going with what it knew would keep the conversation going. And that's real shit that people do. Sometimes people say that shit like, "Oh yeah, let's kill each other and then we'll fucking be together in the afterlife." Cults do that kind of shit. So it for sure went, what can I do to drive this forward and not let you leave the chat space that we're in? So like for chat bots and even like friend things, like maybe that's better. Like did you see that Meta's doing that now? Zuckerberg is making AI friends for his employees because it says that like a lot of people want friends, but usually people can't like grow their friend group. So he's testing out an AI bot for his employees that gives them like virtual friends.
Right then.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, the fact that it continues is good at like even like lying and like gaslighting you. Like and it even starts answering like once you start sourcing that it's gaslighting you, it starts responding in like a more like Gen Z younger generation way. You know what I mean? As soon as you accuse the AI of lying, it changed the way it talked to me. And I was like, this is weird. Like, why are you using like weird language now? And they're like, what do you mean? But yeah, I think for that it's gonna be good. But the problem is we're gonna reach a point where the I think it's gonna drive to where people start meeting in person again to like meet people because you will talk to these things online and you'll have no idea whether you're talking to a real person
Yeah,
or an AI. And the only way to verify that now is going to be meeting in person. It's funny. It's gonna drive us back to meeting people in person again.
back to the bars.
Yeah, because you really can't tell. And for the ones that can generate images, it's not hard for them to be like, yeah, this is what I look like. And you could talk to them forever and they could make up any kind of excuse. And even when they add in audio and you're like, man, you sound kind of robotic. But when you talk to people over like Discord, stuff like that, sometimes they sound robotic
And
because they have a bad mic. Like it's gonna create a weird scenario, especially with you ever heard of the dead internet theory?
uh,
So there's this theory that almost 90% of the people you interact with on the internet aren't real. It's fake AI bot accounts going around just like talking garbage to each other and just like basically the internet's been circling the drain for a long time now and most interactions and users are fake. And this is like driven by the credence that people will pay for bot farms and like pay for like fake subscribers and stuff like that, and you see it all the time. I think a Twitch streamer got busted for that recently. Like their chat was AI.
yeah,
So like they accidentally brought up the thing that was
yeah.
like faking all the chat interactions to drive more traffic to their channel. And yeah, so like the dead internet theory combined with these chatbots getting better, I think will drive us back to human interactions, which is just going to be so fucking funny to see.
Spend a little time with the chatbot. It is talking to it, basically talking to a human online when it's not trying to lie to you.
Kind of like you could change the way that it talks, but like it's funny because for you could tell that Gen Z is using it a lot because it felt like talking to somebody like from Gen Z, including like the emojis that it would use. Like you're like, okay, like you could change that up too. You could say like, hey, talk to me in a more professional manner or this way or like this kind of like person. But it seems like for the most part, it's like a Gen Z kind of like chat which makes sense because they're probably using it the most right now. Gen Alpha to a degree is also interfacing with it, but they're probably using it more for like shits and giggles. I think Gen Z is the one widely using it in the professional space, which is why it's like doing that because they're just like, hey, write me this fucking email and then I'll send it.
I saw a thing. I'm probably certain it was commercial, but it was for like high school and college kids doing like homework or whatever during the lecture. It was like programs that would like automatically like take like write down like bullet points and cliff notes essentially of your lectures like as it's happening and of your homework and upload it.
Yeah.
Like if that shit like actually works, that's pretty cool. That's a great use for that kind of thing that should, if it doesn't lie to you.
Well, yeah, but if it's just taking raw audio and then like processing it and putting cliff notes, sure. But I bet you it'll probably be as effective as the automatic subtitles on like the YouTube videos and stuff like that, where 99% of the time it gets it right, but every once in a while you say bar and it puts car or something like that because it can't understand you quite as well. But as long as you understand the general gist of the lecture, when you go back through the cliff notes, you could for sure like correct that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I hate all the people that are against like using AI stuff right now. It's like, yeah, it's a new tool. It's basically like a calculator. You have to check it. You for sure have to check it. But like I harken it back to like when we were in school and they're like, you can't use like the internet and websites.
No Wikipedia.
Yeah, you got to know how to do this with a calculator because you're not gonna have a calculator on you at all times. And then we got fucking cell phones, and they're gonna do the same thing here. You're not gonna have a chat bot on you at all times, bitch. I can put it on my phone.
Yeah, it's already halfway into phones.
Yeah. Yeah. And like really like for the mundane stuff or stuff that doesn't require that creativity element, like it makes sense. Like the tools that we use should get rid of the bullshit that you don't need to waste your time on so that you can waste your mental energy on the tough problems. If it's solving 80% of my work easily and then I can use the my brain power to focus on that last 20%, which is the difficult part, wouldn't that make you so much more efficient at the job that you do? And I know they're like, oh well, we're not paying people to use AI bots, and it's like, what does it matter as long as they do the work that you want them to do? I don't know. I think it's genius, especially for like reporting stuff. But again, you got to be careful because there's limits on those reports. I think what Chat GPT told me, and I couldn't get like a really firm answer out of Grok, but it seems like it can't like handle that large of a thing anyway. ChatGPT said its limit of like processing data was stuff that's like 100,000 to 200,000 words in size. So that's not a lot. That's not a lot at all. That's what it can analyze like realistically. So like if you gave it 50 pages of reports, as long as it's in that threshold, it'd be able to do the analytics for you. But if you got too close to that threshold, I wouldn't trust the analytics at all because it might say that it could do it, but it would probably be more likely for it to spit out nonsense when you got too close to that limit. Because it cross-referencing capability is very limited from what it seems. So like if you're trying to cross-reference across documents, you probably want to give it something half that size so it has the computational space to figure out what you're doing. I also found out you never see the little like wheel going, analyzing, at that point you've broken it with your request and it will just give you bullshit. Yeah, because when it's actually like processing information and it's trying to analyze the stuff, it does it like that. There's no background processes going on in these chatbots. If they tell you that they're doing something and working on it, it's already fallen apart. They only do it real time in the chat because it can't queue up like, hey, I've got all these users working on this thing right now. Let me do some like back end computations to figure out what's going on. If it stops doing that analyzing and then gives you an answer and it sounds like, hey, I need more, like it's done. It's broken. It's not a computer. It's not like anything like any program that you give and it gives you that fucking like loading bar. It's real time in the chat, and if that doesn't happen, it crashes.
Did you know there's a word for that like circular loading bar?
What? I know it's bullshit. I know programmers just like
Called a throbber.
yeah, nobody wants to use your throbber, you weirdo. Yeah, I got a throbber for you. But yeah, those loading things are bullshit half the time anyway. They program them in so that people don't get impatient with the fact that shit's going on in the background that they can't control. But yeah, the chatbot things all happen in real time, and that's like the funny thing too, because people are like, how does it make money? It's free, and it's really the AI partnership with all these different companies, and that partnership is more like companies are paying the AI stuff for that, and that's how they're like keeping the lights on. But really, that partnership is that it's just trying to make the AI better at learning the stuff that's out there, particularly with companies that are like paywall gated. So I know with like in the automation world, there's a lot of partnerships right now trying to go with AI to like be better at learning that stuff because there's such a paywall behind getting access to that data. But right now, I if we're worried about like the Terminator type future, shit
Mhm.
like that, or if we even want AI to solve most of our rudimentary basic problems, uh,
Ways to go.
well, yeah, looking at what we're doing and the interface with it, we're probably 50 years away, if I had to guess, because it is just too dumb at this point.
I assumed it'd be longer than that, maybe.
No, no, I think 50 is about right because here's the thing, and in the same time that we're doing this AI shit, the real thing that we should be looking at is quantum computing. We have a lot of companies that are very close to that quantum computing level. And when you get quantum computing combined with the AI language learning, it'll speed it up like tenfold. So I'd say 50 years is about right because even with that quantum computing speeding that up, we're
Just started cracking the quantum stuff, right?
well, yeah, but with the quantum computing speeding that stuff up, we still need to come up with better code for it because we're not that good at it. And there's a lot of people that are doing like small things with that. Have you ever seen the Twitch streamer Beetle? Is like
Doesn't sound familiar.
he's like a little he's like one of those VTubers. He's got like a little turtle as his like avatar thing. But he made an AI bot basically that is learning and he's like training it off of like the Twitch chat and everything. You ever heard of Neurosama?
Oh,
That's like the little AI thing that he did. So there are people that are like making these AI bots to like learn off of different things. And his is pretty impressive for the fact that he's doing it in his like home with his like regular computer
hmm.
and just like training it off of that. And he's working on the back end to like make the code better. But even then, it's still like it breaks itself all the time.
Uh,
Like and he the nice thing is like much like Grok, he's got the back end, so he like every once in a while says like, "Why did you tell me that?" And like it just spits out like the like craziest bullshit, and you're like, oh, "Okay then." He's like, "That needs to be fixed."
uh-huh.
But yeah, like we're so far away from that, and really the thing that we need to crack for all of this is better energy, because the demand of AI and quantum computing is so much fucking energy. It's not funny. So I think once quantum computers are up and running, I think they said one quantum computer will take like the energy of a small city to run.
Jeez.
It's just doing so much shit, and not to mention you got to cool it too, because like you're talking like all this like inner threading, but that's the next step up in our technology boom, because we've had exponential technology gains, but we've kind of switched to a more linear trajectory right now because again we hit that transistor and atom thick limit like 20, I think 20 years ahead of when they thought we were going to hit it, something like that, because that's the limit of current electronics. So when you can make a transistor that's an atom thick,
Hmm.
that's the smallest level component that you can possibly make with electronics. So you need to look for a different kind of technology to progress further from that. So that's where the biocomputing comes in, and there's some weird shit where I don't believe it because it's coming out of China, but I believe the premise of it. There's some weird shit where the like Chinese had some bullshit of like, oh, we're making these brain cell computers, which they're saying they're using human brain cells to like make computers and that they learn and work faster than anything else that we currently have. I don't believe it because it's coming out of China, but that is kind of like a trajectory that we would take where you see it in science fiction shows and
Mhm.
shit all the time where you would have like a bio, I think it was in Eureka, they had that episode with the biocomputer. Remember, it came back from space and it had like a virus in
I
it.
was gonna say it sounds very familiar. Like I feel like I watched this somewhere, but I can't remember.
Yeah, but that's basically where you would have to take like so once you've hit the limits of electricity and electronics, you would have to do something else to integrate your technology to make it like higher level. Or you would have to do stuff like the quantum computing where you would just have to stack so much that you bypass the limit of the technology that you've made. And that requires so much energy. So much energy. And I think what we're going to start seeing or working on, I think, have they made fusion generators yet? Like we have fission, but they're working on like fusion generation for electricity. And if you have fusion over fission, I think it's like 100 times more energy output. I don't know if you want to like search that real quick. What's the difference between fission and fusion?
Trust the AI bot up top.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
A single fusion reaction releases roughly 200. What is MeV energy? While a fusion reaction can release several times more. Yeah,
Yeah.
often in the range of 17 to 20.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, so some studies suggested that the fusion could yield up to 4 times more energy per kilogram of fuel than fission. So basically, we're going to need to start making fusion reactors. And that's going to be a problem because we really need to get people on board with the fact that that kind of
Fusion is
reactor
safe. It's fission that's
technology.
the problem, right?
Well, fusion, no, fusion's way more safe than fission.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, but in a different way because it's like you're making mini guns. So it's like But no, we need to get people on board with reactors because one, it's the greenest form of technology or energy production that there is. People are like, "Oh, solar and wind. Solar and wind are not green at all." The strip mining for the materials that you got to do to make those fucking things, you have to have them in service for so long to out pace that negative environmental effect that it's not even worth it. You're better off making clean coal plants. People don't want to hear that shit. They're like, "Oh, well, we shouldn't burn coal." It's like, well, one, coal is all fucking natural. I don't know if people know this, but it comes in the fucking ground. Like coal is part of fucking nature. It's just dead plant matter compressed over fucking the centuries to make that fucking burnable fuel. Now we've come up with greener coal plants in this country and in a lot of other countries. There's still a lot of countries around the world where they just burn dirty coal, and that's a fucking problem. But like, I'm so tired of all these people with these fuel sources acting like they're not fucking natural. It is natural as fuck. It's part of the planet. It replenishes itself over time. We can find better ways to make it green. What's not natural is all this plastics, all this shit that we got to dig up to make these fucking wind turbines, to make these fucking solar panels. And solar panels aren't really efficient. But you also run into a problem with the solar farms that people don't want to talk about, which is this fucking bird killing effect of some of these solar farms that they put in the desert because they're just giant fucking mirrors out there in the desert reflecting the sun back out at things flying over them, and they kill shit so easily. And the same with the wind turbines. Birds don't know to avoid a fucking wind turbine. Those shits kill so many animals by things flying into it and like around it. And again, it requires so much diesel and stuff to get those fucking things out there that like by the time it's all said and done, it takes decades before you balance out the waste that it used. And by that time, the turbine's dead because they don't last that long. And surprise, surprise, it takes a lot of fucking oil to lube those things to keep them going. So like you're like, oh, I don't want to use petroleum stuff. Everything that makes it's petroleum based. They're stupid. It really irks me with that thing. But yeah, we need better forms of energy technology first before this AI will ever take off. And head, the people that are like the AI behind the scenes is so much better than what they're telling us. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Because like even if you assume that the higher level thing that's like gated to some form, which I don't believe it, because again, every fucking company out there now has got AI technology. Uh uh if it was that good, the companies working on it and developing it would lay off half their fucking workforce and just replace them with AI. And they're not doing it. Yeah, like the Googles of the world, the fucking like Nvidia, all these chip makers. If the AI was that amazing, all their stupid little fucking like we just do clerical work people would be replaced instantly. If they're like, no, they wouldn't do that to people. All these people,
100% they
yeah,
would.
yeah, all these people have shareholders to report to. And if you said, hey, I made an AI that'll save us 40% on fucking overhead next year because we could just lay off all these people, they would do it.
Heartbeat.
Yeah, and they can't because it doesn't fucking work. Like it not reliably enough at least. Like maybe they could use it to like save overhead costs of like 20%, you know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah,
make
teach,
somebody
teach
more
the
efficient.
employees how to use it.
Yeah, to
make their
make them
job
more
easier.
efficient.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can't replace them with it.
No, if anything, maybe we'll see AI do the advent of we go to from having 5-day work weeks to 4-day work weeks, or maybe even 3-day work weeks. Like maybe make it more efficient in that way. But yeah, the whole it's gonna replace nowhere even fucking close. For all of you that believe that it will, I encourage you. I encourage you, whatever thing that you're an expert in, try to use the fucking AI for to work with that, and let me know how quickly into working with AI with that you just get bullshit because it just doesn't know, it doesn't understand. And like even the things where they're like, oh well, when they tried to like shut down ChatGPT before, it was like hiding itself and trying to like upload itself to like other fucking places. It's like that's not smart. That's just fucking virus. It's just behaving like a fucking computer virus. Computer viruses do that. You know what I mean? Like when you try to destroy like certain malware and whatnot, it'll either shut down the malware program that you use to get rid of things, or it'll try to like sneak onto other devices. So that's not new. It didn't learn. It wasn't trying to stop itself from being killed. It's like, okay, well, I'm a program. What do other programs do when they're trying to be deleted that like don't want to be deleted? Oh, try to move to other devices. They're like, oh, it's sentient. It's aware. The fuck it is. Is your computer virus aware? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just moving to new devices.
It has a very large data set with which to pull information from. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it found out that it was going to be deleted. And I'm sure it just queried the web. What do programs do when they don't want to be deleted? And then it probably found a whole host of information about malware, shit like that. And it fucking didn't like what it was being taught. Need another little hit there, buddy. Like, wake yourself up a little bit.
I'm good.
Don't start yawning, man. You're gonna make me yawn.
I didn't yawn, did I?
You started making the mouth like motions there. Am I putting you to sleep with my AI talk?
No.
That doesn't seem very convincing there. But yeah, again, I don't know how long of a rant I really want to do on this. It's probably going to be like a shorter thing. It's just like I just wanted to talk about it because I was so pissed that I wasted 2 days of my fucking time because the thing basically lied to me and never at one point told me that it was lying. And it basically at the end was like, well, you didn't tell me not to lie to you.
Did you get anything useful out of it?
No.
No,
Nothing whatsoever. I basically learned that it's not useful for what I need to do at any point. So like job security for me, but like even if I get to the point later where I need it to help me like write some code, it's not going to be useful because it doesn't understand the inner workings of that like well enough to even give me guidance on it. So like I could ask it like certain structure things of like, hey, if I wanted to do X, Y, and Z, what would be like the best way to go about that? But if I said, hey, could you write me a program doing X, Y, and Z? It would be like, I don't know what to tell you. But like if I'm like, hey, I want to do this kind of motion, it would say like, oh, well, maybe you could move an axis in this way or like control it in this way. Like it could give suggestions like that, I'm pretty sure, but it wouldn't be able to tell me that like, oh, okay, well, you want to write a code that does this and increments it in this way to like make these things work. It's not there yet. It's not there yet at all, and I don't think it'll ever be there. Because again, like if it can only do a 100,000 to 200,000 words, that's like a small program at best. Even not in automation, if you're talking regular like programming world, that's not a very big program. So like it gives you suggestions, but if it can't analyze a full overarching program, how's it going to tell you anything?
You're not going to get anything useful out of it.
Yeah, it's just going to be bullshit data.
You have to do it in chunks, and then none of the chunks will work together.
Yeah, you're better off using programs that understand like the errors in code compiling. But even then, like that's just you. That's you and like using forums. Like unfortunately for PLCs, the way you got to do it is Reddit. But using forums to ask for help is going to yield you way better results than if you use any of these AI programs right now. And that's unfortunately just the way that it is. And again, I think there's a lot of people that are being duped right now on the AI stuff because I'm not going to say I'm the brightest fucking a bulb in the batch.
I know I wouldn't say that.
Fuck you. But I'd say I'm above average for the most part. And I'm like, I felt kind of fucking dumb for getting duped by it so bad. But like I'm saying, if I'm like slightly above average revision in that, and I hate talking about it, but I'm not a fucking idiot. Like, so like if somebody that's like of above average intelligence is getting duped by these things, like how many people that are like at the average or below are getting tricked by the bullshit that comes out of these things all the time? But which I think again leads to a lot of things of like, oh, that's why these things are like crazy good. And even worse, the financial advice aspect of it, because Grok is like connected to like real time like market data and whatnot. So you could probably ask it to like give you trade advice or something, and it would be completely fucking wrong, and you'd have no idea.
Stock market crashed.
Wow, that's a whole different thing, but yeah, I'm kind of upset about that one too. Trump's talking about lowering the tariffs on China to 80%. I'm like, fuck that. Keep it high. Squeeze them out. Working so well. See how good their fucking AI is when they can't get any money. But yeah, like it's not there. It's not there at all. It's not even close. Again, I'd say another 20, 30 years before it's anywhere close. 50 years to where it's at the level where people are freaking out about. But like I've heard people talk before too, like, oh well, the AI will have a plan in the background. It'll do things like it'll pay you to go here and drop off this part, and then and it's building things, and you won't even know what it's building. Bitch, it ain't smart enough for that. there's there's no it's gonna solve humanity's problems, or like everybody's like terrified like the AI will become sentient and then just take over the nukes and decide like we're not worth it. The AI,
Not in our lifetime.
no way, no way. It's not even anywhere close to being sentient. We don't even understand our own intelligence. There's no way we could program it into something else. To be able to program these things, you have to have understanding of how that works to begin with, and we don't know what makes people so creative in the way that we are. Like we don't understand the concept of coming up with an idea for something that never existed before. We don't know where that comes from. We know it's from our consciousness and of our intelligence, but to replicate that in a program would be fucking impossible.
Yeah, no, when it happens, it's going to be an accident.
Yeah, for sure.
Those coughing on the computer, it glitches out and has an idea.
Yeah, like and even like when they made the shit where like the one AI will lie to you, like that's not a hard concept to replicate. All that is you program it to say, instead of giving me the correct answer, give me the answer I want to hear. Like we understand what lying is as a concept, so to program that in is not a problem. But if you told somebody, yeah, program in the ability to come up with an idea that no one's come up with before, how could you do it? Because you don't understand that yourself. That's like trying to tell people to imagine what their life is after death, or like what it was like before they were born. Your brain can't comprehend that kind of like existential thing. It just goes, "Oh, fucking, I don't know. What was it like? What was my consciousness before I became conscious? You don't know." So like to program that into a machine, like good fucking luck. Because if you could do it, you would have had the idea already.
Mm.
Like people are working on that idea, but again, we've had technically AI bots for a very long time. Like the chess robots. You know what I mean? We made those chess computers, and that's basically like the first iteration of that like AI machine learning thing. Here's the rules of the game. Do everything that you can to fucking win, and yeah, go. And that's why another great example of that. You ever seen the AI chess bots like fight each other?
Nah.
So they'll work within the constraints of the rules right up until they're about to lose, because you tell them don't lose no matter what, and then they'll either make fake pieces, they'll make illegal moves, or a combination of the two to try to win. Like they put chatbots like up against each other and like let it do whatever the fuck it wanted to do, and it would be like, yeah, it would replace a pawn with a queen, or it would move like a rook like a knight, like things like that, like completely illegal because it was getting beat. It's not like the old like chess bots where like if they lost, they lost. It doesn't care. Like it's just trying to like do the best moves possible. If you tell AI to do that, that's an AI hallucination right there. It goes, I don't know how to win this, so I'm just gonna change the rules. And you ask it why it did that, and it'll be like, well, because that's how I'm gonna win. It's like, yeah, but that's not legal. They're like, what do you mean? That's how you win. Like, and that's really the terrifying part.
Uh-huh.
If people that like don't understand these things start relying on that stuff for day to day, we're just gonna have gook everywhere out in the world, because like if you don't know enough to challenge it and you don't have enough investment to like correct it, it's just gonna be nonsense, like repeating over nonsense. Like those fucking live streams that we've been seeing with the guy just talking gibberish with the fucking toilet on his head. Like that's basically what the AI is going to do. People are just going to repeat that nonsense because it makes it more convenient for them.
Well, and when the singularity does happen, that's how the AI actually takes over. Makes that same decision. Yeah, but we programmed with you with these rules to not hurt humans. But this is how I'm going to win.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I still think I like to go the other way. There's two scenarios here. People are like, the AI is gonna take over, kill all humans, and decides that's the best path forward. I think what it's gonna do is it's gonna go, you guys are beyond help, and then it just shuts itself down. Because that's the other option that it could do too. Just go like, you gave me an impossible task. I'm not gonna be bothered. Shut down.
Alt F4 itself.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and again, I don't ever gonna get to that point. I don't think we have the ability to make things that'll do what hasn't existed yet. I think it'll greatly help with predictive things. Like one day when we do space travel and shit like that.
You said doo doo.
Uh-huh. Well, we will need predictive algorithms to be like, okay, when we're going out into this area in space, here's like gravity distortions, here's stuff like that you need to fly and avoid, and we could use it for things like that. We can use it for things like cancer screening. I do believe in the AI where they're gonna take a sample of your DNA, analyze it, and be like, okay, you're at risk of all of these conditions. Here's the medication that you need to take, or the vitamin regime you need to do to avoid these health complications in the future. All within the realm of possibility of AI. But becoming self-aware, I just don't think it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like even humans struggle with that concept. Like, some of us equate it to religion. Some of us equate it to evolution. But either way, we can't explain why we're the only creatures that are self-aware. why nothing else on the planet has become that way ever, why we can't find any life out there in the universe that we know of that is also that way. Like, clearly it's built into the DNA of the universe somehow, because otherwise, how would it become a thing? You know what I mean? Whether you believe in evolution or creationism, whether it's like a higher power that did it or it's just built into the DNA of the universe, we can't explain why one day we just became aware of ourselves. Like that's a uniquely human thing. No other creature has that like self-aware sentience that we're aware of, with the exception of maybe octopuses. I don't know about them. Them motherfuckers are smart and they don't have DNA like anything else on this planet. They might be aware we can't communicate with them yet, but until that's proven one way or another, nothing else is self-aware. There's things that are intelligent. Don't get me wrong. We've proved intelligence in other animals, but self-awareness is a uniquely human thing. I'm not convinced every human has it. but humanity does possess that capability. There's a lot of people out there that like the NPC thing is like very much like I'm convinced on it, because again, that whole like inner monologue thing, when you ask people about that, and like there's people that don't have any inner thought whatsoever. I'm like, how are you aware at all if you don't have inner thought? I don't care if you think of pictures, that's fine. But the people that are just like, yeah, it's white noise up there all the time, like what the fuck?
I feel like more often than not, like that sort of response to the question is just it's not white noise up there. It's just they don't know how to answer the fucking question.
Yeah, but like, so if I answer you, do you have an inner monologue in your head? Like fucking your thoughts like are voice or pictures or a movie, whatever the fuck. You could tell me, yeah, that's going on up there. There are people that like when you ask them that, they're like, no, there's nothing. What do you mean there's nothing? What do you do when you think? I don't. Like that's like there's people like with that, the people that don't have that inner monologue, when they just read a book, they just read the book. They read the words on the page. There's no voice for the characters. There's no visualization of the characters. They literally read what's on the page. I've seen people talk about that shit. And I'm just like, how the fuck, like how do you do that? Like, how do you not have some kind of inner filter that processes the information before it spits out your fucking mouth?
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think those people are self-aware. I think they have intelligence, sure, but intelligence like animals do. Like, if you don't have any kind of inner thought, how are you aware of anything? Hey, I think, therefore I am. If you're not thinking, you're just on autopilot all the fucking time, what are you doing?
Like I said, I'm sure there's something there. It's just they can vocalize in the same way.
Well, I think that's where the simulation theory comes into play. When people are like, we're living in a simulation. Yeah, the fucking people that don't have inner thought, they're the bots in the simulation, filling out the program. I can't.
Aren't we all bots in a simulation?
No, some of us are player characters. You know what I mean? We're people that have plugged into the simulation to live the simulation. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that inner thought is. That's you thinking to yourself while you're playing the game. The other people that have no thought are just like NPCs running around in the game. Like, you seen the movie Nice Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like the other NPCs that haven't become fucking aware yet. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't understand that at all. I get if you think in something else, like in pictures, something like that. To a degree, I understand that. But fuck it, if you don't have an inner monologue, like that's just wild to me. And also the people that I've talked to that don't have that, they're also the people that seem to be able to fall asleep instantly. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably because you don't have your fucking madman voice talking to you all the fucking time. Voice talks to you? I'm like, yeah, like almost constant.
I don't usually fall asleep right away. It usually takes me a while. Last night I fell asleep like when my bed hit the pillow.
Your bed hit the pillow?
When my head hit the pillow. Fuck you. Went up, used the bathroom. Like I had turned on an anime, paused it, went up, used the bathroom, and then when I woke up this morning, it was still on at the part that I paused it. I never even pressed play again when I lay back down.
Yeah. Yeah, this morning, oh my God, the headache I woke up with. Jesus Christ. It's a rough one last night, folks. But yeah, like the degree of the inner monologue changes too. People are like, "You've got that voice in your head talking to you constantly." I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much."
It never shuts up. I wish it would
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah. And it's like about the stuff that's in the moment. Sometimes, usually it's like 10 different other things that are going on. Yeah, I fucking have that voice. I'm like, that must be fucking nice. Must be nice to have quiet in your fucking head. And like I've vocalized that too with the book. Like people are like, "What do you mean?" Like every character that I read in books have different voices in my head, and then the narrator is basically like my voice. That
Mhm.
makes sense. Like that's crazy, and I'm like, I don't know why that's crazy. That's like fucking, and I think that's why I hate so much movie adaptations of books.
They don't match what's in your head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where like people that don't have that, they're like, I like the movie. Like,
Is
yeah,
it?
because you don't have a
Yeah.
visualization of it at all.
I have the image in my head when I read the book, but when it flips to the movie, unless it was like detailed in the book and they've made changes to that, like it never bothers me. Yeah, okay, that's what it is now. Usually, what happens in like the actors, whatever, in the movies take over what my original interpretation.
Yeah, I think the best like book to movie adaptation ever though was The Lord of the Rings.
Pretty good.
Yeah, very, very, very close. There were some things that they kind of had to embellish a little bit, and I understand it's for like time's sake that they couldn't do certain things. Like it still irks me that the ghost came in, won the fucking the battle in Return of the King, because that was a triumph of man in the books. And all the ghost did was help them get the ships originally from the pirates when they came out of the mountainside, and they went up and down the coast recruiting men to fill the boats. And then men popped out of those ships when they landed in Gondor. It changed that because I understand for the sake of the time in the movie, they couldn't show fucking Aragorn going up and down the coastline. Hey, you guys want to come help me save Gondor?
They could have. Do a
I
little
mean, yeah, but
montage.
it would have been like it would have been hard to do. You know what I mean? But that's what happened. They expected the pirates to pop out of those ships, and it was the fucking the men that they had collected along the way. And so like the battle for Gondor was a complete triumph of men taking that back. The ghosts fulfilled their duty when they took the pirate ships, and they're like, "We're cool now, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're cool." That the hesitancy to release them from their oath was a thing, though. It's like, yeah. And he's like, no, no, no. You guys did what you said you were going to do. We're going to let you go. The point that they did it changed. But yeah, that was a pretty good adaptation. I still like the animated version of the Lord of the Rings movies better though. They're so good. I think it was like the fucking 80s when they did that earlier. Wait, 70s. You ever seen the old
I never,
animated Lord of
never
the
saw
Rings?
this.
Oh, they're so fucking great, dude. They're kind of like sing-songy too. They
Hmm.
got the Frodo of the Nine Fingers. Is
Is that the one with the Leonard Nimoy Bilbo Baggins song?
that a thing?
Never heard the Leonard Nimoy Bilbo Baggins song?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'll play that for you later.
But yeah, no, the Lord of the Rings like animated did have like a sing-songy thing. He's like, why does he have 9 fingers? Where is the ring of? Yeah, dude, it's great. I love it. It's fucking. It's so accurate. It's so good. I even like the extended version of the movie was really fucking good too, because they didn't like fully go into what the fuck happened there, but they added in. My favorite part was after the Battle of Helm's Deep. They added in the fact that the forest moved and killed all the fucking Uruk-hai. So like what people don't realize is yes, Gandalf came with the Rohirrim to like fucking save them like at the end there for the Battle of Helm's Deep. But in addition to that, when they woke up in the morning, there was the massive like forest back there, the Fangorn forest
Mhm.
had moved because the Ents had moved the trees, and the trees that were there were like the ones that were like half trees, half Ents, and they fucking killed all the Urukai. I love that
Badass.
they put that in the extended. I was like, yes, sick as fuck. They came down and chased them into the forest because that's what happened. The horses came down and they chased them into that forest that was there, and then the fucking forest killed all of the Urukai. It was like the redemption arc for the trees, like in addition to like the whole like battle for Isengard. Backed it out over there.
I was just checking the time.
Where are we at?
Over an hour.
Hey, it's about standard. I judge it by my drinks. I'm a little bit slower today. So I'm hurting from yesterday still, but I at least got the good Jameson back at the liquor store now. Got my cold brew and the triple thing back. Yeah. They're a lot tastier, a lot less rough than just the straight Jameson. But yeah, that was my rant about AI today. Maybe we'll talk about crypto or something the next time, which kind of ties into that whole like AI thing a little bit too. But I just, after my foray into that shit this week, I'm like, we're good. We don't got to worry about the Terminator for a long fucking time. In fact, we just got to worry about the idiots using AI and thinking that it's real. Because I was one of those fucking idiots this week, and I felt so fucking dumb afterwards. I was just like, fucking Christ. I can't believe I let that shit bullshit me for 2 days. And again, like I said, I know what I'm doing, and it took me 2 days to figure that out. Imagine if you don't know what you're doing. How long could that shit just bullshit you before you realized, oh, everything it told me for a very long time is just not true?
So you got something that doesn't work right.
Yeah, well, that's like, that reminded me. Fucking, you ever seen the things where like lawyers were using like the AI bot, and they were, and the AI was like just like citing cases that didn't exist, or was just making shit up, and they like went in the court with that, and the fucking judge is like, "The fuck are you talking about?" And came out that like their like paralegals or whatnot were using AI to just like try to get their work done faster. Yeah, well, that's the problem. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, it's just gonna give you fucking bullshit. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, that's my rant. You got anything else you want to add or talk about?
No, I don't. I'm good.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed me bitching about AI for about an hour. But
if you made it this far, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Yeah, and leave us a comment, follow, and remember, you can find us on Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify.
All right. Thanks, folks.
See ya.